The talk of the town for the last month has, of course, been the refresh of the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Now, no, don't worry, this video is not going to be a full overview of the updated annual fee, credits, and other perks associated with this card, as there have been tons of great videos already posted on this matter by fellow creators. Instead, I wanted to share my rather surprising experience applying for the Chase Sapphire Reserve business card a few days ago. Now, originally, I had no intention of applying for the new Sapphire Reserve card, as well, I already hold the personal version of this credit card and have had it for a little over a year now. I managed to get the personal version of the Reserve by first opening the Chase Sapphire Preferred back in 2023, which, fun fact, was my first ever travel credit card. But I wanted a taste of what it was like to hold a truly premium and luxury credit card, so I product changed from the Preferred over to the Reserve at the 13th month of card ownership. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time as a Sapphire Reserve cardholder, primarily appreciating the Sapphire Lounge collection and the guaranteed 1.5 cents per point redemption rate that I can lock in through the Chase travel portal for flights or hotel bookings. And so you could imagine just how sad I was to hear that this 1.5 cents per point redemption benefit in particular is being phased out with the new refresh, as well as Chase taking a big old page out of the Amex playbook and turning the Reserve into another massive coupon book. So even with these changes, I decided that I was going to keep my Sapphire Reserve for the 9 months or so that I had until I would be charged the newly increased annual fee of $795. And speaking as someone who regularly forgets to use credits across my various travel credit cards, I had a gut feeling that this might be my last year as a holder of the Reserve card, given all the new credits piled onto the card. That was until Chase announced they were going to be releasing a business version of this card as a part of the refresh. Now, it would be a little lengthy if I were to try to explain my full credit card strategy, so we'll save that for another day. But if I had to use just 2 words to quickly summarize my strategy, it would be business cards. Whenever a new elevated offer for a business card hits the market, there's a good chance that I end up applying for these elevated offers. The reason for my affinity towards business credit cards is that their sign-up bonuses are often much greater than that of personal credit cards, and they don't impact your personal credit score. To show a few quick examples, let's take a look at the Amex Platinum personal and business sign-up offers. The personal version starts at an 80,000 point welcome offer, whereas the business version starts at 150,000 points. The minimum spend required to achieve this welcome offer is greater, more than double that of the personal card, but the annual fee is the same, and of course the welcome offer is nearly doubled. If we take a look at Amex's Gold card, we can see something similar. The Gold card welcome offers for the personal version starts at 60,000 points compared to the 100,000 points you can earn if you can complete the minimum spend requirements on the business version. Finally, let's compare the new personal Sapphire Reserve welcome offer to that of the business version, and yeah, it's pretty insane. You'll receive an extra 100,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points if you opt for the business version of this credit card. But let me be clear in saying these cards are not made equal. While the annual fee and the card art are the same, that's basically where the similarities end. The earning categories are heavily skewed towards traditional business spend, like 3x back on social media and search engine advertising. And just take a look at these credits: a $400 statement credit for ZipRecruiter, $200 towards Google Workspace, and $100 a year in giftcards.com credits that I think are meant to be redeemed for employees or for business partners. Although if it were up to me, I have a feeling I would be redeeming these gift cards for myself and not my employees. And not to mention, the minimum spend requirement for the personal Sapphire Reserve is just a fraction of what it is for the business version, as in order to achieve those 200,000 points, you will need to spend a whopping $30,000 on this card, but in a 6-month time frame, so about $5,000 per month. As a business owner myself, I would be able to organically use a few of these credits each year, greatly helping to offset the $795 annual fee. Additionally, the business version gets many of the same travel credits as the personal card, making it that much easier to help recoup the annual fee. Plus, the 200,000 you are earned as a welcome bonus would easily make up for any of the unused credits in year 1, as I value Chase points at a minimum of 2 cents per point. But as great as all this added value sounds, there are two major problems with my desire to get this credit card. The first lies in the fact that I am a big fan of the Chase ecosystem. And in this case, yes, that actually is a problem. See, over the last year or so, Chase has begun tightening down their business card lineup, making it harder to get approved for new business cards if you already hold multiple. This has been apparent in recent data points provided online about individuals having a tougher time getting approved for new Chasing business cards if they already had multiple open at the time of applying. So how many Chase business cards do I have at the moment, you ask? That would be 5. 3 Chase Inc. business cards, the IHG business card, and of course the World of Hyatt business card. I love each and every single one of these credit cards for their own unique reasons, and because of that, I don't really want to close any of them, and this creates the first hurdle for me in my goal of getting the Reserve business card. I just have too many Chase cards as it is. The second issue, and the one that should really make this a closed case, is the fact that I am over the Chase 524 guideline. For those unfamiliar, the Chase 524 guideline states that if you've opened 5 or more personal credit cards in the last 24 months, you are unable to open any new lines of credit with Chase. That includes both personal and business lines of credit. And as it stands, I'm currently at 6 personal cards open in the last 24 months. What's even worse is that I won't be under 524 for about another 6 months or so. And so you think it's time to pack it up, forget about this card, and revisit it later on down the line. But what if I told you that doesn't have to be the case? See, interestingly enough, over the last few weeks, multiple data points have surfaced on Reddit, blogs, and other online outlets that individuals are being approved for the new Reserve cards, all while being at or above the 524 threshold. Just take a look at a few of these data points on Reddit. Admittedly, there is no way to fact check these posts for authenticity, but I would find it hard to believe that all of these Redditors are lying about their 524 status just for some extra internet karma. This isn't the only reason I thought chucking in an application for the business Reserve card wouldn't end up as a guaranteed fail, as speculation often arises around new Chase credit card launches that their rules or guidelines are softened more or less for a brief period of time. Let's think about the Chase refresh from a broader perspective. Chase is in a direct 1 versus 1 battle with Amex right now for the #1 premium travel credit card. I don't know about you, but I would argue that Amex is seen as the king right now in the luxury segment of the market. And so in order for Chase to claw away some market share, they might be willing to loosen their approval guidelines in order to allow more individuals to get their hands on this new updated Sapphire Reserve card. And so if Chase were to ever be incentivized to not follow their guidelines to a T, the weeks and months following the biggest refresh of their premium travel credit card in over 9 years would probably be the best time. I've also come to realize that the more entrenched I get into the points and miles game, the less coveted my 524 status really is. Don't get me wrong though, Chase is an amazing ecosystem, arguably my favorite, but the opportunity cost of passing up on multiple personal credit cards that could seriously benefit my travel habits, all in favor of keeping my 524 count as low as possible, just hasn't seemed all that worth it. As a matter of fact, there are about 3 personal cards I've been eyeing the last few months, but I haven't pulled the trigger on due to this holier than thou guideline that is the 524 status. Ultimately, the reasons I decided to apply are as follows. I'm slightly over the 524 threshold, but data points have suggested it's not impossible to get approved in my situation. And on top of that, I'm a bit tired of constantly protecting my 524 status with the opportunity cost being rather high for me. And lastly, if there's any time that a Hail Mary application like this might work, it's probably soon after the launch when Chase would be looking to acquire as many new cardholders as possible. And so I used my Player2's referral link, filled out the application, and pending. Yes, very anticlimactic, I know. I submitted the application on a Friday and knew that calling into the reconsideration line to check the status most likely wouldn't result in anything. And so I kind of forgot about the application until a few days later on Tuesday when I still hadn't heard back and thought it'd be best for me to call into Chase and see where things stood. Assuming defeat, I sat at my desk right here, dialed in, answered some security questions, and was connected with a representative that had confirmed that I had indeed submitted an application for the CSR business card. After confirming a few more details and being put on 2 brief holds, the representative quickly came back and informed me that I had been successfully approved for the card. Wait, she just said approved. Was my application a success? The moment she said I was approved, I got an email confirmation on my phone of my new Sapphire Reserve business card approval, and I could not believe it. There have been applications that I've submitted that feel like a home run. No, a grand slam. There's no way I get denied, only to, well, get denied and fail reconsideration. And in a few rare instances like this, an application that by Chase's own standards shouldn't have been approved gets approved. I wish I knew what secret sauce I used to secure this approval, or what lucky piece of clothing I was wearing, or if I used a proprietary button combination while filling out my application to grant approval, but the honest truth is, I don't know what I did. I regularly spend on my personal reserve card. It's actually my main workhorse. I have a history of moderate spending levels on my business cards and have been a customer with Chase for a few years now. In 9 out of 10 instances, I would have been denied, maybe 99 out of 100. But in a few days' time, my brand new Chase Sapphire Reserve business card will be here. I spoke earlier about how it might be my last year as a reserve card holder, and obviously that is no longer going to be the case. But I still don't really consider the Sapphire Reserve card to be a no-brainer long-term keeper card. The annual fee is staggering. I mean, it's closer to $1,000 than it is to $500. And my business spend doesn't directly line up with any of the elevated spending categories. And so it could either be a superpower, maybe a cheat code to hold 2 reserves at the same time, or it could be a huge time commitment to make sure I use all the statement credits, especially the travel ones, and a big headache. The only way to find out is to check back in about a year or so when my card will be up for renewal, and I would have had 12 months time with the most expensive business credit card on the market. But if I'm being honest, I'm wildly stoked and excited to have squeaked through this application, mainly for the welcome offer, and I'm curious if any of you all have had similar levels of success with the new reserve card refresh. And let me be abundantly clear, the main takeaway from my story today shouldn't be that if you're over Chase 524 status, that you'll get approved for a new card or a new reserve card with Chase, as chances are you'll just be flat out denied. Rather, it doesn't hurt to occasionally check and test if the status quo is still the status quo. I've watched and read countless stories from the credit card space where individuals question if a rule is black and white or if there's some wiggle room, only to find out that exceptions can be made to said rule. It's always worth it to be curious in this game, but also realize that curiosity can come with a price. And for me, that would have resulted in a denied application and a hard pull on my credit, all without anything to show for it. I consider myself to be very, very lucky in this situation to have had all of the stars align, resulting in an approval, and consider it my sign from Chase that I'm now able to open those personal credit cards I've been eyeing and to say goodbye to my Chase 524 status. And since I spent all day talking about Chase cards, if you've got some unredeemed Chase Ultimate Reward points and want to see the best way to redeem these points for maximum value, click here and I'll see you over there.